Hi everybody, this is Anna. How are you? I know today is the 4th of July and that basically everyone in the US is celebrating. So if you're getting together with family and friends, I hope you have a wonderful day and a wonderful gathering and just enjoy yourself. Speaking of which, thinking about the fact that today is the 4th of July, while we don't celebrate it here, American culture is quite present in Romania, and a lot of Romanians love to adopt parts of American culture, the parts they like, obviously. But there are also a lot of differences. Thinking about Romanian culture and American culture, they're almost like opposites. So that's why I was thinking about telling you what are some quite big cultural differences between the US and Romania. Hope you might find this interesting. Maybe one of the biggest differences between Romania and the US, or the first big difference I was exposed to when learning about America and American culture. The fact that you couldn't get Kinder eggs, those chocolate Kinder eggs, in the US. That was shocking to me, especially because I was quite young. I was barely a teenager when I found out about this. I basically received Kinder chocolate eggs as a gift since I was a child. In '89, Romania basically got out of the revolution, of communism, and then all sorts of things started appearing on the market, and you can get basically everything, including Kinder eggs. So I was shocked when I found out that a country so developed and amazing as the US, that you couldn't get Kinder eggs there. It was a shock to me personally. Later on I found out that it was mainly because the small toys inside the plastic egg, inside the chocolate egg, represented this choking hazard, which is why they weren't allowed to sell them in the US. I'm interested if that has changed, if you can tell me if that has changed, and maybe if there was another reason why you couldn't sell them in the US. One of the biggest cultural differences between the US and Romania has to be the one with the tax not being included with shopping items price. So when you go shopping for anything, basically you see a price along with the product in the store, but when you get to the cash register you have to pay more because tax wasn't included in the price shown. That was shocking to me when I first found out about it, and I had to read more from different sources to make sure that was true, because that doesn't happen here and it's something I feel is so different. And honestly, it doesn't make sense to me because tax for anything is part of the product price anyway, and you have to pay it anyway. So why not show the full price of a product? That doesn't make sense to me. Honestly, shopping would be such a stressful experience for me if I had to deal with the fact that there were two prices. Is this how it is all over the US? Can someone explain this to me? Or why does it happen? Are you happy with it? Do you find that it's a good thing? I'm curious, I'm really curious, because this was like the biggest cultural shock for me. Another big difference between the US and Romania has to be the color of eggs sold at the supermarket or grocery store. Here in Romania, 90% or more of all the eggs sold are brown eggs, brown chicken eggs, basically. Romanians mostly buy brown eggs. We're seeing white eggs, white chicken eggs, show up in supermarkets as well, and they are becoming popular. I can see the appeal of the white shell because it looks cleaner, but still, people here are perfectly fine with brown eggs because they've been eating them for, well, forever. We also have quail eggs sold at the supermarket, and except for that small percentage of white-shelled chicken eggs, the only white eggs Romanians usually eat are duck eggs, which are, well, some are an off-white color, some are a greenish white, but still, brown eggs are the norm. So I was shocked when I found out in the US, most of the eggs sold have a white shell. Like I said, I understand the appeal that they look cleaner, maybe they're easier to clean, but still, do you have any brown eggs on your shelves? How would you feel about buying brown eggs instead of white? Um, would you like them more? Is there something that maybe doesn't make you think they're just as good? I'm very curious about this because it was interesting when I found out about it. Another big cultural difference between the US and Romania has to be home size. Here in Romania, half of homes are apartments, half are houses. The average home size, let's just say apartment, is 55 to 65 square meters to a maximum of 75, maybe 80, maybe 90 square meters. So that's the biggest it will get. But usually homes, both apartments and houses, are in the range of 55, 65 square meters, most of them. Of course, we have villas that have multiple floors and well, go over 100 square meters, maybe 200, 250 square meters, but those are exceptions. Mostly very rich people have these. So the average home in Romania here is quite small. What I've learned from the media, I don't know if it's true, you tell me, homes in America are quite large. They are hundreds to thousands of square feet. So I'm curious if that's true, because if it is, this is a big cultural difference. I mean, here in America we see homes that are 55, 65 square meters, good, as in good enough to raise a family there, at least one child. Homes that go towards the 75 square meters range are actually good to raise a family with 2 children and maybe 1 dog. So this is a big cultural difference, I'd say. Speaking of homes, one thing I find interesting, and so a big difference between the US and Romania, is moving homes. Here in Romania, unless it's for circumstance, once you settle on a home, get a loan maybe, or things like that, you stay there. It's your forever home. I found that in the US it's quite common to start out with a smaller home, maybe a home that requires a bit of repairs, and then over time, over the course of a few years, sell that home, maybe for a profit, buy a bigger one, and so on for, well, at least a few times until you settle on your forever home. Is that common in the US, as common as I'm reading it is? Because I find it very interesting and quite a big cultural difference. Romanians don't like to move at all. If possible, they will stay in the same home forever. They don't have this thing about changing homes, getting a bigger one, for the most part. So please tell me if that's true. And maybe the most interesting cultural difference between the US and Romania has to be the sandwich. Here in Romania, the basic sandwich, according to the average Romanian, is slices of salami in between pieces of bread. Of course, you can add other things as well, but this is the basis of the Romanian sandwich, let's just say. Younger people like me also have a love for avocado, so I regularly have toasted bread with avocado and eggs. I just love it. I think it's fantastic. Fantastic. It tastes so good. But the average Romanian would say that the go-to sandwich is salami with bread. I know that in the US quite a few different kinds of sandwiches are popular and all of them sound delicious. In addition to avocado and egg, there's also BLT, bacon, lettuce and tomato, which sounds wonderful, but also cheese sandwiches. I'm actually going to have a cheese sandwich right now. I have some red cheddar cheese and I'm gonna fry a couple of slices of bread in a bit of butter, and I can't wait to eat it. I find US sandwiches much more interesting than Romanian ones. So what do you say about the cultural differences I've noticed between the US and Romania? Are they real? Or what I'm reading in the media and newspapers and finding out from some people is just, well, true for certain parts of the US? I'm actually curious because from the outside it seems that like all these things are, well, common and so very different from Romania. Hope you liked this video, hope you found it informative, and I hope you have a great 4th of July with your loved ones.